Hi everybody, this is Greg and Debbie Denny, Tuxedo Cat Clocks. If you want to buy a clock directly from us or have us build you a clock, this is the contact information. That's my cell phone and our email. So let us look into this one. You see the giant tube? Well, this is the second time I've used one of these tubes, but the problem is they don't have a way. I thought this was on a spinner.
No.
Okay, well, that's all right. The problem is it doesn't have a spinner, so, or you have to have a way to mount it. So the mounts for these are copper. They are each screwed down. In fact, if you can look in there, you can see the screws that are in there. So that's where it starts. Starts with the brackets and the tube plate. All of it's handmade copper. This is handmade copper. These things here are handmade copper. But that's enough about that. And we don't know what the tube's number is. We don't have a clue. I've used two of them, but they're so old that they just don't have numbers that you can see. So anyway, that particular tube has got 30, count them, 30 RGBs. We have two antique knife switches. This is how people used to turn the power on in their houses, and probably were very fortunate that they didn't electrocute themselves, because this is the power end, and this is the contact, and if you throw it, that's what you get. There are 30 RGBs inside on the back of that tube. It's never going to be the same moment to moment. It's always going to change. It's going to change to where you have rings around it, little red mark up there. It's just, I mean, if you watch this as we go on, you'll be able to see how much it is, how much entertainment it is. The meter, well, that's a whole other deal too. That meter is probably 1890 to 1910, 20, maybe. The sign, the name on the face of it is obscured, but I've used these before and they are super old. So there's that. There's a small RGB that is illuminating the face of it. Looks better in the complete dark, but that's okay. So again, nice switches to control these various things. This is a Russian OG4 Decatron tube. It is controlled with this nice switch. This is the speed control. So that has its own little fun thing. So you can sit and watch that. You can pull it back. You can make it go really, really, really slow, or even faster. But if you wanted to turn it off and say, just throw that over there and it's fine. I'm gonna leave it on. When we were almost done, we worked on this clock for, well, Debbie helped me, and it took us, I'd say, the better part of, if you put it all together, probably a couple of weeks of us working until I couldn't stand up anymore. And the very last thing that happened was I broke the hinges that came on the box. So I get this when that happens, I have this blank look that I have where I let my brain just sort of wander around into an idea. So this is the idea. This is a latch, so that goes over there. Well, it does go over there.
Let me get a
And
closer look.
This one goes over there. And that way, to change the battery and to do various things, that allows access to the inside of the clock. So, let me put the latches back in. So when you break something, be prepared to build something to counter it. So Debbie did the box. It's, what would you say the color is? It's got veins of green and brown and...
Well, it was, somebody wanted this box, and they wanted it black. So what I did is I stained it and painted it, took care of it and made it black. But then we used a different box for their clock, and I sanded this again and stained it with an oak, and this is how it turned out, which I think I like it.
Well, it's approaching too late if you don't like it. Normally I use little plastic buttons, little red buttons. This one has got, it's a better quality button, but it's metal and it's nice. And then this has got a recessed power cord on the back of it. The button does all the control. In other words, it sets the date, it sets the time, it sets blanking as far as if you want to go to bed at 10 o'clock, it'll turn off and turn back on whenever you tell it. This Nixie clock, I've made over 1,000 of them, and rarely do I have a problem. Very rarely. If you look at my reviews on eBay, I have perfect reviews, 5 points on everything.
Well, you made over 1,000 Nixie clocks, but they're all different, just like this one's different.
Yeah, they don't really ever, everything is sort of one of a kind. I do have some that are kind of standard that I do over and over again, but by and large, they're each unique. So as a final thing, at 50 seconds, it turns from the time to the date. Watch the meter as it changes. Right now. So when it goes from one to the other, the voltage drops, and the meter is so sensitive on that spring that's in there, it bounces for another 15-20 seconds. So anyway, you got anything to add to that? Oh, fearful, oh, no.
How about the
Helpful person?
LDR?
Oh, that's the other thing. You're right. The LDR changes. In other words, in a dark room, let's say, you got it in your living room, and as the evening comes on, it gets dimmer in the room. But if these didn't have any control on them, they would be so bright they would just blur out. So it's got it's got an LDR that makes these dimmer so that it adjusts itself with the amount of light that's in the room. So that's about all I got. Debbie was so much help doing this, I would have never got it done by myself. So thank you very much for your time. And once again, if you want to build one, have one built for you, you have some ideas, I work with people who have ideas. I have zero ego, basically, but when I get, there are things that you can't do. And since I'm 71 years old and I've been building these for 10 or 11 years, I'm pretty sure of what I can and can't do. So don't expect miracles, because, well, you can expect miracles like this, but that's it. Some things just don't go along with the laws of physics. So thank you for your time. And Debbie, are you good?
I'm good.
She's good. That means I'm good. You guys have a good evening, and thank you very much.